All right, guys, we got this. Let's go. Gun wide trip sweep. Pros X go. On one. Ready?
Ready.
What's up, guys? It's Pick'em with HuddleGG, and today we're going to talk about something we get a ton of questions on throughout the year, and that's scoring touchdowns in the red zone. The play we're going to be talking about today is the speed option, but we're going to show you how you may have been running it wrong this entire time. With that being said, let's hop right into it. First, let's talk about what options are and how we can run them. Now, when we're looking through our playbook, we're going to be looking for anything called speed option or power option. Okay, we're going to run these very similarly. All right, so here we're going to be using speed option out of the wide trips offset formation. And when we come out on this play, we're going to have two options, okay? We can either keep it with our quarterback or we can flip it to the running back. In order to flip it, you're going to use LB on Xbox or you're going to use L1 on PlayStation. And whether we flip it or not is dependent upon what the P icon defender does. So when we look at our play art here, if we're ever running these power options or speed options, there's going to be a defender that has a P icon above his head. That's going to be our pitch defender. Okay, that's the guy that we read to determine what we do with the ball. Okay, if he attacks the quarterback, we're going to flip it. Okay, if he stays with the running back, we're going to keep it. All right, so here, if we run this play, you're going to see he comes down, he's attacking the quarterback, so we flip it, and then it's just a race to the edge with our running back, right? We're trying to get our running back out to the edge, have him race to that corner. All right, so if we look at the replay here real quick, you're going to see that this slot corner here attacks down, and he keeps running down. You see how he's running down towards us, right? That's telling us, okay, he's attacking the quarterback. Shortly before he makes contact, we want to flip this ball, and again, at that point, it's just a race to the corner with our running back, and again, we can pick up some nice, easy yards there. All right, now, if they are playing the running back, it's going to be a little bit different. Okay, what I like to do, especially if they're spread out like this in a normal set, where it's 4 down line, something like this, nickel, big nickel, something like that, I like to cut it upfield with the quarterback if I know that they're not coming after me with that pitch defender. Okay, now if they pinch their whole defense, then you can keep it wide with the quarterback. But what I like to do if they're staying in a normal base set like this is I do like to cut it upfield. Okay, so what you're going to see here is, again, if they are playing the running back, when we see that and we notice it, I like to cut upfield and get a little bit of yards there. Okay, now typically that's going to be their user there, and this user is going to run way out of the way, right? So what you'll see a lot of times is he's going to be way out here and he's not going to really be in position that he needs to be to make a play on the ball, right? So if we run this again, and again, they're playing the running back, what you'll see a lot of times that guy's out of position, and then we can cut it upfield here and get some easy yards and get into the end zone. Okay, that's typically, obviously in practice mode, it's harder to show what the user is going to be doing, but a lot of times once you're running that speed option, you're really just reading this user. Okay, as soon as we know that this guy is playing wide, right? You see how he bites down a little bit to start, but then he shuffles his feet. As soon as he shuffles his feet, that tells us that we know he's not playing the quarterback. Okay, he's playing the running back, so he's out of the play. So now we're just reading that linebacker where the user typically is going to be. And again, if he's over pursuing to the right, we cut it upfield to the left. And if he would stay in that gap in the middle, then we could split it out wide there as well. Okay, now the one thing that people miss a lot of, and I think one of the biggest mistakes that people make when they're running this play is not having the P icon where they want it. Okay, so you see here the P icon again. If they come out in this defense, the P icon's gonna be on that slot corner. And where the P icon is depending upon the alignment of the defense more than anything. Okay, so you see here that slot corner is to the inside shoulder of our slot receiver, and that's where the P icon is. If we go to something like a cover 3 defense, you see how that slot corner took a step to the outside? Now that moved the pitch defender to that defensive end. This is bad in my opinion. We don't want the pitch read defender on that defensive end. The reason being is if we get that pitch read defender on the defensive end, it's going to be a much quicker decision we have to make. Okay, so if we go to run this again, what you'll see is that defensive end is going to be in our face right away. And again, we got lucky there with the pitch, and you can see that we still would have been able to get some positive yards there. But this is when you're going to run into a situation where you fumble the ball more than anything. Okay, and you see, again, simply, we say hike, that guy's in our face right away. Again, a lot of times if we try to pitch this here, it's going to bounce off that guy. Again, we get very lucky here with the pitch. So again, this is something you don't want to do. And the reason why we don't want the P icon on that defensive end, right? He gets to our face really quick. It's just harder to make that read. And it's also much quicker to make that decision. And we just want to avoid that at all costs if we can. So how do we affect that if they come out and the P icon's not where we want it, right? Here, if we come out in this play and the P icon's on the outside, we don't have to do anything, right? Very simple. If they come out in something where the alignment's different and now that pitch defender key is on the defensive end, we want to utilize a motion. Again, what were we looking at on the last play is when that slot corner is closer to the middle of the field, that's when the P icon is on him. When he splits more out wide, that's when the P icon goes to the defensive end. Right, so what you're going to see here is if we motion one of these receivers over here, it's now going to put the pitch defender key back on that slot corner. Okay, it's off the defensive end, and that's what we want. Okay, so now we have the pitch read defender where we want it. We run this play, he pitches inside, we can flip it, and now again, it's just a foot race to that corner. Okay, so again, manipulating it with motioning and understanding where we want the alignment of players is very, very important, and something I think people miss a lot, and that's why people turn the ball over or they have negative plays on this, right? So again, here, if they come out in a cover 3, you can see that you can also motion this outside receiver, right? P icon's on the defensive end right now, but if we motion this guy in, P icon will switch. It'll switch around while he's motioning, but once he gets set, it's going to be back on that slot corner there. And again, that's where we want it, right? We want it on that slot corner. So if we run this play, you can see we're able to flip it. We're able to get that edge, get to the corner, and get easy yardage. If we ran that again, we get ourselves into the end zone there. So again, very, very important to understanding how to get that P icon where we want it on the field. Now, one thing I want to talk about as well is when I really like to run this against dollar is to the short side of the field, and I'll show you the reason. Okay, so if they are in DB Fire 2, right? It's a very popular defense that people run. And what they're going to do is they're going to baseline and press, and they're going to pinch this line down, right? Something like this. This is a very, very popular look that you're going to see. Now, if you look at this, the P icon is on that slot defender's head. Okay, that's fine. We could run this if we wanted, right? So again, if we want to run this with the look that we have, that's perfectly fine. We pitch it, we get to the edge, and we're able to get in the end zone. Now, or get close to the end zone. Now, what I want to do is I like to run this to the short side of the field, and I'll show you the reason why. Again, if they baseline and press here, slot corner is the one with the P icon above his head. If we run this to the short side of the field, what you're going to see is it moves the P icon defender if they give us this look again. Okay, now the P icon defender's on that right of screen middle linebacker, which is typically the user. Okay, so the user is the one who has to play both the quarterback and the running back now, and I think personally it's very easy to attack that user if he has to defend both, right? If he gets a little bit too wide, you just cut it up field with your running back. If he stays tight into the inside of the field, that's when you'll just flip it because he's not going to be able to get to the outside anymore. So again, if we get that look and we have that user, right? Again, typically the user is going to be on that right of screen middle linebacker. But now when we run this to the short side of the field, we get that P icon on that player. And again, we can now just run this. And again, we can flip it. We could even keep it with our quarterback there. But you can see we can get ourselves into that end zone. So again, understanding how to run this obviously is the first part of this play. But secondly, understanding how to get that P icon where we want it is going to really change your offense and allow you to get into the end zone more often than not. And if you're interested in getting better at Madden, make sure to join our free Discord by going to HuddleGG/Discord. Have a great day.